You're about to get two Hollywood icons on this stage at the same time, and they are big names. You all know who they are. Are you ready? Okay.
Now, when we fought, you had that eye of the tiger, man, the edge. Eye of the tiger, man.
Please welcome Sylvester Stallone! Yeah. Hi. So lovely to see
Hello,
you.
everyone.
Now, you please sit there. Now, can I just check, what do I call you, Mr. Stallone? Sir? Sly? Sly works, okay. Well, we are so thrilled to have you here. I feel like I'm really low down. There we go. And what do you think of the Arnold Sports Festival here in the UK, the first one?
I'm actually very thrilled that it's come off without a hitch, and the best thing is Arnold's not here. No, we've been competing against one another in one way or another since 1977. So like he's an old buddy. Let me take this jacket off. It's a little warm.
Sure. Let me hold your mic for you if you want. There we go. You're gonna see some muscles. You are over here in the UK for a little while, though. What do you when you come here? Presumably you've been here quite a few times for work, Sly.
Well, I came here for you guys, but to pay for the trip, we're doing Expendables. Yeah, so I'll be doing that for a couple weeks. Then I'll let Jason Statham take over for a while, then Dolph will take over, and I'll come back a little later on. It's getting complicated, folks, to everyone's schedule. So, but yeah, that's the next schedule.
How do you?
Oh, let me see. Paul Newman, Robert Redford, Jimmy Caan, or Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester what? What is that, a disease? I go, no, it's me. And again, I think in life you hit about 4 or 5 crossroads. That was a crossroad, and I knew if I sold it, this opportunity is never coming again, ever. But you have to go, God, then if the money was so good at that time, it was like almost $360,000 for the screenplay, and that's like $1 million or more today. So, I just go, I can't, if the movie works for someone else, I could never live with myself. I just knew that I would hate my guts for quitting. That's what the whole movie was about. Not quitting, I can't quit. And so I took a gamble, and it paid off.
It did pay off. 10 Oscar nominations for that first one, and 1 for you for screenplay, and 1 as well for Best Actor.
Yeah.
And then again, 40 years later, same franchise for Creed. I mean, how good is that?
Oh yeah, thank you.
Really good. I reckon you need to do some more Rocky films, because that Oscar is definitely coming.
I don't know about that. You know, Oscar's nice, but this is better than any Oscar. No. I go, oh, okay. And same thing with like Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. The only reason I did that piece of crap was I thought Arnold was going to do it, and I wanted to beat him to it. But he tricked me. He went out and said, yes, I'm going to do it. And I went, really? He goes, yes. Don't, shh, my secret. So I called my agent. I said, I can't let this dodo bird take that. I can't. He's my enemy. Not really. We're just friendly competition. And of course he did it because he knew it was terrible, and it was a disaster, and it set my career back like 5 years.
And if we talk about you and your physique, I mean, obviously this festival is based on fitness, and for Rocky IV, is it fair to say you were in peak condition? Is that the best you've ever been?
Yeah, Rocky IV, no question, because he's a big boy. Like, he really hit hard, and there was a lot of accidents, but I had to be in really great shape. Between that and Rambo 3, that was it. Actually, in Cliffhanger too, I was right there, but because it was so cold, you couldn't see any vascularity, so it didn't count.
And when you do go to that extreme for work, I mean, you're all in, it's eggs, drinks with raw eggs.
Yeah.
And I understand as well, you trained with a former Mr. Olympia to make sure you were in peak bodybuilder shape.
Right.
How hard were you working out?
A lot. I was working out actually with Arnold's best friend, Franco Colombo. And as I was working out with him, I made a mistake. He wanted to go, let's have a bench pressing contest. So I go, sure. He can only bench press 600 pounds. Done. Got you now, boy. All in pieces. Hello, soldier. Pretty happy for you. I knew I liked it. My name is Sergeant Andrew Scott. What is that? Well, that's the spirit, soldier.
Here he is. Come on in, Dolph Lundgren.
Whoa.
I love this. Now, can we remain friends here today? No punching, no nothing. You do get on well. I suppose Sly's the boss ultimately, isn't he?
Yep. I don't do anything if he doesn't tell me to do it. I'm quiet.
That launched you big time before you became He-Man. I mean, you did Rocky IV. Did you have to get in even better condition for that film as well?
Well, Rocky, when I did Rocky IV, when I first met Sly, I remember you were getting ready for Rambo 2. And he had long hair, and he was all tan and ripped. I was a little starstruck when I met him first time, and at his office. But he was really nice to me, and he showed me all of these folders of everybody who was up for the part. And I was in good shape already, but I had to put on some muscle, remember? And so I did, worked out for about 5 months. Then I auditioned, then I got the role, and then I had to train with Sly 6 days a week, twice a day for another 6 months. So when that was over, I was in pretty damn good shape, I want to say.
I get the impression that both of you choose films that require a lot of training. I mean, a lot of actors just go, yeah, that's a nice film. They learn some lines, they turn up. But you have to actually really get in shape. How long before filming starts on most movies do you start a training plan?
It depends. For example, on a film like that, where you have to be on camera all the time, it took at least 6 months, 7 months. But the thing is, I believe that in this profession, to really be successful, the day of being an actor that, I could play Hamlet, and I can do this, I could do musicals, whatever, those opportunities are gone. They just don't make those movies. I don't know, are there any boxing fans here? Okay. Then you'll remember the classic fight between Hearns and Hagler. So I had already choreographed the film. I go, I know exactly what I'm going to do. Then I go and I see this crazy fight. These two guys hated each other so much that all their skill went out the window, and they just went and beat each other to a pulp. They were throwing haymakers. They were letting their guard down. You know what I mean? It was a street fight. And I went, this is brilliant. So I go to Dolph, I go, look, I know what we were gonna do in the beginning, the first 30 seconds. I just want you to come up and try to knock me cold. I mean, don't try too hard, but try. Well, of course he tries too hard, and boom, he catches me under the heart. And
We seem to have.
oh no!
We have an interloper. Mr. Schwarzenegger, hello.
Well, first of all, I cannot believe that you have me all of a sudden on a big screen in the middle of a great story that I was really looking forward to hearing from Sly when he was hit in below the heart. And I'm so happy that Sly is there because Sly and Dolph, both of them are, bodybuilders. I mean, even though they come from a different background, but let me tell you something, when I met Dolph for the first time, which was on a set of, I think it was Conan #2, a mutual friend of ours introduced him to me, and he trained with us there. This was in the early 80s, and I saw what a machine he was and what a great martial artist he was, and I really admired him ever since. And then I was so happy he got into the movie business, and then eventually made it his big dream to be in the movies. And then to work with Sly together, who was another one of my idols, even though we had our conflicts in the 80s, like you said.
Stop.
I'm so happy, Sly, that you finally told to my big audience there, to this wonderful people in England, directed the story about the stop of My Mom Will Shoot.
Yeah, you know it's true, you bastard. Yeah.
Hang on a minute. Did you two? Is this rivalry you had? Was it genuine? Did you really not get on, you two?
You want to answer that and tell the truth?
Well, I mean, I think that we both talked about it. We both always admired each other, and we both used each other for inspiration. But it was all-out competition, and it was crazy. And that Sly was absolutely correct when he talked about the stop of My Mom Will Shoot, because the script came to me, and I said, this is the shittiest script I've ever seen, I'm not gonna do it. And then my agent said, but the production company called me and said that Sly wants to do it, so we cannot let him get away with that. You got to do it, Arnold. And I said, no. I said, Maverick, why don't we do that? Why don't we just say, I want to do it, and then Sly will sign on to it. Because he will go crazy, and it will be a competition. And so this is exactly what we did. I said, I want to do it, this is a fantastic script and all that stuff. And then they said, you know what, I'm so sorry, Mr. Schwarzenegger, but Sly came in and said he really wants to do it, so we gave it to him, and I said, yes! Oh man, this is fantastic. And he did it.
I still have
Okay.
I owe you, big guy. I mean it. I'm serious.
Okay, here's another question. Arnold, which of Sly's films would you have liked to have done?
Well, I mean, a lot of them. I mean, I think that the Rocky movies were fantastic, even though I have to admit I couldn't have pulled off what he pulled off in the Rocky movies, because I'm not as talented in boxing as he is. I mean, he is a real good in the flair. That there's some people that have talent for certain things and some people don't. And I think that the way he played the character, it was just spectacular. That's why he was nominated. That's why he was awarded as Best Actor and all of this stuff. So I don't think that anyone could have done that part better. But I mean, there's movies that I admired so much. I think the Rainbow movies were fantastic. It was really true action movies. Also, I just want to say, Sly, I don't know how you do it. And because you just had back surgery. I mean, how long ago was that back surgery?
3 weeks.
Okay, so think about that. You just had back surgery and he's sitting there and he's starting a movie next week, Expendables. I mean, it's really amazing. I don't know how you do that.
I'm a little crazy, Arnold. A little crazy. Nice ass.
That's amazing.
Lulu. Good girl, Lulu. Yes, she gets jealous right away when I'm on the screen. She gets jealous, and then she comes in and she wants to come, Lulu.
I'm going to play a little. Hi, Lulu. I'm going to play a little game now. I've got a few facts about Dolph or Sly, one of them, and maybe you want to play as well, Arnie. One of you auditioned for Star Wars. Who was it? And is that true or false?
me, it was a horror too. I went up for Star Wars, and they wouldn't look at me. They kept looking at the floor, and I realized, obviously, I'm not going to get this part. And I actually watched a fly walk across George Lucas's hand, and he didn't even look at it. Like, no one wanted to acknowledge I was in the room or they were alive. And I said, look, all right, I know I'm not right for this part. I don't look good in tights and spandex, okay? I don't have that. I'm out of here. But yeah, Star Wars was...
Was that, it was Han Solo part as well?
Yeah,
Amazing.
that was it.
Can you imagine Sly as Han Solo? You didn't.
And that Harrison, what's his name, got it.
I don't know. I'm sure he'll come back at some point. I'm sure of that. Okay, another one. One of you was a bodyguard for Grace Jones.
Arnold, can you answer that question? Oh, he can't hear it. It was me, yeah. I was the bodyguard, and that's how we met. And then she brought me to New York. I ended up doing some acting while I was working on the door as a doorman. And then one role that I went up for was some boxing movie. Turned out to be something this guy wrote, and the rest is history.
Nice.
Excuse me, Dolph, could you explain exactly your duties as a bodyguard with Grace?
Here you go. You gotta break chops. You can't leave.
And you know, I remember one story when you were working with Grace and Conan the Destroyer. Remember that, Arnold? Yeah. So we trained together, and then I did the Rocky movie, and I hadn't seen him. And Grace liked to party. She liked to go to bed at 4 a.m. I had to get up at 5 to work out with Sly. So one night she had this big party, and I was trying to sleep in a guest house. I was trying to get a few hours of precious sleep. Somebody's knocking on the door. They keep knocking, and I'm like, who the hell is that? Who is it? I heard this voice outside. It's your trainer. I'm here to check your abs. I opened the door, and there was Arnold with a big cigar.
Oh my God.
I tell you, those guys are really in great shape. I walked in, when was it, Dolph, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was 2 weeks ago. I walked into the gym and I saw from behind this guy doing pull-down exercise on the lat machine. And it was like 250 pounds was on the machine. I mean, the whole stack. It was like really amazing. I was like so impressed. I kept looking at it, and sure enough, when I looked at it, when he got off the machine, it was Dolph. So that son of a bitch is still really strong. That's all I can.
Okay. Listen, it's been such a joy to chat to you all today. Thank you so much. You're back on set on Expendables. Start this week.
Right.
What can you tell us about Expendables? Who's in it this time? What's going to happen?
Well, I can't give too much away, but Jason Statham plays a very big part in this, and there's a twist in the beginning, and it's like kind of like a whodunit, and it builds, of course, to a big finale, and then at the very end we go to Arnold's house and eat his donkey. Sorry, I need a big finish. That's the plot.
Okay, and you're going to be spending quite a bit of time here in the UK, Dolph?
Yeah, I've been here for about a month. I'm working with the boss man here on Expendables, and also I'm doing a little role in Aquaman too. So I'm here until December.
Amazing, brilliant. Well, look, hasn't it been amazing? Look at those 3 huge icons on stage right here.
Hey, buddy.
And thank you so much, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Dolph Lundgren. Thank you.
Thank you, Arnold. Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you. Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Carl. And thank you, Stephen. And thank you, Eddie. And thank everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Arnold.
Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Thank you.